Guys, it is Sunday morning, 22nd December, and heading into town here this morning, going to check on Mom's house. We had about a good couple inches of rain here, and make sure that the river hasn't decided to flood. I'm sure I would have got a call if that were the case, but figure I better just check just in case. When we get a good rainfall and snow melt like we had, that tends to bring the water level up, and water will get out in the yard a little bit. So we'll go check on that, make sure we don't have to put the gasoline pump into the sump pump, and give it a helping hand so that we don't kill the sump pump. So I'm going to go do that real quick here this morning, and then I'm going to pick up a funeral home minivan and probably do the last of the strobe light installs today. Weather's pretty warm here. It's kind of one of these dreary, yucky days, but it's only about 9:30. I think we're going to continue to get some rain. Temperature is almost 60 degrees out, so it's one of those muddy, yuck days. Not a good day to do anything outside, so I'm gonna do that. And we got the Christmas tree started with the decorations last night, and that's about it for now. So we're gonna go get all that started, and I'll bring you back when I get to the shop. So we'll see you then. Van here in the shop, and so far, while I was charging the camera up, I pulled the bumper cover and grill assembly off. Basically, there's not a whole lot of fasteners here. There's a couple of push pins that go in these two, and these three really long ones are what holds the headlight assembly in, and that hole, and that one. I had to take a couple screws out of this little plastic piece down here to allow myself a little more room. I don't know if you're supposed to have to do that, but that's what worked for me. The bottom, or the top of the bumper, has these little pushy pins in here. There's two of them, and then this goes in that little alignment hole there. But those other tabs go up underneath the bottom and clip in, and then there's a couple of screws right in there, and a 10mm bolt that goes in a U-nut that's under there. So nothing too crazy. I've got the headlight assembly out, as you can see. Now, these are, I don't know if I want to use the word composite, but you can see that the reflector housing is well inside of the plastic. Now, from what I understand, I've already pulled the bulb out. We're going to put it in the low beam side on this one. It's kind of a sealed unit. It's got a rubber grommet that goes around here and kind of seals this up a little bit. Let's see if I can find that, put you guys on the stand. We're going to have to drill through that outer black plastic to get to the reflector in there, and we need to keep that bulb away from the headlight bulb itself. Here's a little grommet, it just pushes in the back there and sort of, I guess, seals it up in a manner. But I pulled that out so I can actually pull the bulb out itself. Not that you have to do that, but basically what I'm looking at is drilling a larger diameter hole here so I can get into the side of the headlamp assembly. I tried to decipher how to take these apart, but I'm afraid of breaking it. So I'm just going to drill a larger hole in the side of this, and then we're going to put some, this kind of stuff looks like white Play-Doh, but it's butyl caulk, and we'll use that to put around the wire where it comes out of the hole, so we can kind of keep that dry. These are certainly more complicated than a regular headlight assembly is, so we're going to have to be extra careful. I'd really like to have it coming in from this side, but the marker lamp is integral to this, so we're going to have to come in this side just so we can stay away from it. But there's no good flat surface in here, so I'm basically going to have to just drill a bigger diameter hole to get my smaller hole saw in so I can put that bulb in. And I've already assessed that I cannot put a strobe tube in the fog lamps, and I'll show you why. As soon as I move this bumper cover a little bit, the problem is the fog lights are so tiny. I started I pulled the other side out, and this bulb comes down about from here to the end of the bulb is 2 inches, and I need an inch clearance between the center line of that, or the end of that bulb, and the strobe tube, and we can't do it. It's just not big enough assembly to do it. So I don't know, we might do tail lights on this one. I really don't want to. The tail lights come out pretty easy on these vans, so that shouldn't be a problem if I wanted to do it. It's just getting the wiring up there. The good news is, and I don't know how good a news it really is, that under the dash there is tons of room, and I mean tons of room. So let me find a flashlight here. Not quite sure what I did with my flashlight. There we go. Take you guys inside. Looks like I can go. There's a grommet right down there. It's kind of hard to see. I know the camera probably won't pick it up, but there's a grommet down in there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's got the white stripe on both ends of it. So wires can probably go through there. And then as we get under the dash, there's our grommet right there, which is cool. And then we have a huge amount of real estate up there. So we ought to be able to get that bad boy in there pretty easily and go from there. The only other thing I'm concerned about, I mean, I guess we could go up in there too by the heater control. This is kind of an empty void down in here, so that may work too. I may go with that. I may pull those trim screws out and see what kind of space I have down here. We got a duct up here for the floor, but that should be far enough away if I want to tuck it in there. But it just seems like I got quite a bit of room. And then as far as where I might put the switch, I'd love to put the switch, well, probably either somewhere right along that corner of the gray part of the dash. I really don't want to drill in these nice wood panels up here, and I don't know what's behind them, so we'll have to do some investigation to come up with a spot there. But the other good news is we have top terminal batteries with extra lugs on them, so I can just put a nut on that, or just put another, just put my ring terminal right under there and be good to go. So that makes that a little bit simpler. I mean, not that that took a lot of time to do in the first place, but we just know that we cannot go through those fog lights, so those are a no-go, but the headlights, we'll get them figured out. So I'll bring you back in a little bit when I get that all squared away. In light of keeping this video shorter for you guys, I went ahead and drilled my hole and installed the bulb, and I'll show you what I did. I think you guys can figure out the steps. Okay, it's not ideal to have this light bulb in the bottom, the strobe itself, but the problem is this side has a marker light, and there's no way to drill through this to get a bulb in. If I wanted to come in through the middle, we've got this big corner here, and I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Coming off the center line of the regular light bulb, there's like a little plastic strut. Well, on the left-hand side there's also one that's coming off the outside, and I would have had to break it off, and I was really reluctant to do that. So we're going to do it like this. These headlights aren't cheap, so I don't want to screw one of them up. We'll just go in through there, and I had to drill an access hole through the plastic in the bottom, but you can see that I've got it sealed up. That is butyl caulk. I don't have any black, all I have is white, so that's what we did, and you just wad it up like Play-Doh, like you're a kid, and you smush it in there, and it sticks real nice. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this light. I don't know how detrimental it was that I sealed that bottom up with butyl caulk, but the rest of it's kind of gasketed up, so I'm going to make sure that she's sealed up. And what a bear to get all the plastic out of this light assembly after you drill the hole, because it's not a sealed unit. This inner light is sort of hangs out in space inside the lens housing, and it just doesn't work real well to get the yuck out of there. So we're going to go ahead and zip that light back together. I can reach my pigtail from the back, no problems. It takes these three, it's a 10 millimeter head, but it's not a 10 millimeter bolt. It's probably 5, maybe an M5 or an M6. We'll go ahead and start these in here. The one on the top, one over here. And since this is a 13, I think, 12 or a 13, this stuff comes apart real easy, so it's a matter of having to take apart a bunch of other things, not like the Chevys where you pull 2 pins and the headlight comes out. Center this light kind of as it was before. I really don't feel like having to aim headlights today. And then I got 2 screws to put that back in, so I'll zip that in. I'm going to go ahead and do the other front headlight and find out whether we're doing tail lights or not here. I've already got a couple hours in this, hour and a half in this. By the time I rip that front fascia off and everything else. So we shall see. I will return. Guys, we're back. It's about 4 o'clock here, and you can kind of see what we got going on. We've got the wires hooked up. Everything's good to go. It's fished through the firewall down there, and I took some of that butyl caulk that I used around the holes I drilled in the bottom of the lenses, and just for a little added security, you can see that it's around that wires, and the wires run up there, and that strobe unit is right behind here, secured down, and we got our switch, and we've only got 2 lights hooked up. They don't want lights in the tail, strobe lights in the tail lights, because when they're following them in a procession, they don't want to have to stare at them. So we're just doing those lights for now, and I'm going to cut that off. I got to get the front fascia bumper cover back on. And what I did, we're going to see if we can't get a set of lights where we can hide them away back here behind this lower grill area. So I actually put the plugs on and put them out here, and I'm going to seal those off for now. And then when we can get a set of those lights, we'll install them. Shouldn't take very long. Just jack up the front of the truck and fasten them behind there and plug them in. So probably an hour job. So I'm going to get the bumper cover put back on, or at least attempt it here as soon as I seal those up. And for now, we're just going to probably tape the snot out of those, because I don't anticipate it'll be very long before we get another set of lights to plug into them. So the other thing I may do is put a little dielectric grease down in there just to keep them clean. So I'll go grab that. Now you can get this stuff in a tube or have these little aerosol cans like this. That kind, dielectric grease for connections. So that I just gave each one of those a little squirt, and I'm gonna just try to go back to about the gasket here. And yes, it's gonna be goopy on there, but I'm just trying to keep the shit out of them. Because I don't have a set of dummy plugs for these. They actually make dummy plugs, but I don't have any. So we're just going to do that for now. We're going to clip that wire back in with the other wire in the harness. And try and get that bad boy to stay put. And it is Sunday. If it was a weekday, I would probably run up to Napa or somewhere and try and find some lights, or I know I can get those dummy plugs just to keep the ends sealed up. Again, this is just a temporary sort of deal here. If this was permanent, well, first of all, there's no reason for it to be permanent because there's going to be lights plugged into it, so. It should hold. Put a little more Super Go Fast tape on this one. I'm not a huge fan of using electrical tape for any kind of wiring ordeal, but this is what this job's calling for today. That should fly. So we'll get the front bumper cover back on here. Get this bad boy returned. Close my door before I kill the battery. You hear it sounds like paper rustling in the background. I've got a cold air return. That's how much air is blowing around in my attic, so I keep that covered up. Now this has a couple of push pin type retainers. I'm going to set them in the middle here so that this thing doesn't come flinging off while I'm trying to put it back on. Except I've got 4 bolts and 2 bolt holes. So I gotta figure out where these went before I go putting, oh, I know where they go up here. Those are threaded. All right, scared myself there for a second. Definitely don't like that kind. Use my little rigid impact driver here. Bring you guys over to the side and kind of show you how these clip back in. Once you've got it set up on top here and can line those up, there's actually, I don't want to pull it out too far here, but that plastic that I loosened before, I want to drop this damn thing. See that thing with all the holes in it? That wedges this between the headlamp and the bumper cover. And then there's a clip that clips to the bumper and then it pushes straight up into the fender. One thing I need to do, let's see, I need to get, there we go. Now that's going to take some force fitting, but we'll get these started in here. These 10 millimeters going where they're supposed to be going. Under there and fight with that a little bit. And I've got this little flexi head thing here with a Phillips on it to put my screws to hold the splash guard back in. We'll get those started. Second side's just as fun as the first side. I'm not going to make you watch me tighten all these fasteners up, but we'll go ahead and start one up here. Same thing on the opposite side. Now the other problem is I think I have to sort of fight underneath this thing a little bit because the bottom of the bumper fascia goes into a couple little tabs down here. Oh no, we're good to go. It's going to make it. Okay. I just want to double check before I tore something up. Can't believe I had to take the damn bumper off to get the headlight out. I know this probably isn't really interesting. spot here. And it's not broken. It did not break. Gonna work on the other side for a minute here. If all else fails, right? Go to the side that seems to be working and come back to the one that's fighting you. So guys, don't forget about the mumble tonight if you're not busy celebrating holidays or wrapping gifts or whatever you do. 8 o'clock, or any time after 8, I should say, Eastern time. Okay, that one popped right into its home. So we'll run the screws back in the splash guard here. And I'll get this wrapped up and I'll bring you back for a final. I'll do a quick little look around. Gotta be careful with these impact drivers too. I just barely pull the trigger on it when I'm running screws, especially in the plastic. I think that's a miss. I have to get it in the pilot hole. Yeah, the screw hole is a little higher than I thought it was. She's in, that's all tightened up. I'll bring you guys back in a couple of minutes here and give you a final. This video's getting long. Things back together, we're good to go. Switch down there, it's not my ideal location, but these vehicles also have a lot of airbags in them, so I was trying to stay away from any place an airbag could come out to, because that would tear it right up. But yeah, we're good. We got the hood closed. We've got the bumper all squared away back on there. And those 2 extra wires are actually in there, but they're tied up, like you saw me doing earlier, so those will be out of the way. Those won't be as easy as a install as I thought, because there's actually a cover under this bottom, so I'll have to pull the bumper loose or figure out how I can get that cover off if I'm going to install lights in here. So we'll see. I may also be able to put them in the corners of the grill there and there, which may be a better spot. I don't know. Wipe my smudgy handprints off. I'll give you guys a little quick look outside. The sun's shining. It's over 60 degrees, and it's Ohio. I can't believe it. Oh, starting to cloud up a little. The sun was just beating down earlier. There's the Duramax sitting outside. She'll be going back inside here later this week before any more snow comes. But she's still looking good. I've run her up the road a couple times, but she's nice and oily under there. Oh yeah. I like that kind. Look at that. Nice and oiled up. She's ready for the show. The snow show. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed the little snippet there. I know I didn't do a lot of how-to with that, but that's the 4th one I've done, and you guys are probably getting sick of watching this shit. So hope everybody's having a good one.